Okay, so we're gonna do the review of the M50. Now, this is a review after owning it for less than a week. Well, it's been about a week, but anyways. So this is a keychain light, the Acebeam M50. So I'm gonna get this review recorded so that I can upload some stuff all at the same time. I'm gonna do the K75 unboxing too. In any case, so that's the K75. I did a review on my other channel for that one, but it's not a good review, so that's why it's on the bad channel. Basically have a commentator channel, and then I have the one that I can put good uploads on. So, as you know, this is a fish oil vitamin pill. Okay, and that vitamin is a good size reference that's international for this flashlight, because not everybody has quarters and pennies, so I can't really use change. It's better to use something that everybody has. Everybody has these fish oil pills, vitamins. Okay, you can tell that it's a little bit thicker. Okay, it's a bit thicker, and it is a bit longer. Okay, but it's probably no bigger than it's not longer than 2 of those, and it's not thicker than 2 of them either. In fact, it's not too much thicker than this guy. It's much smaller than the Olight i3OS, which is a similar sized competitive light. Or the unboxing, I think I showed it inside, but I'm gonna do it again. So really just the overview of facts I have written down. So 200 lumen maximum, 7 lumen minimum, and that is also the only 2 modes of the flashlight. The max candela is 460 candela, okay, which you can do your own calculation for throw. You could do various calculations, including one for quarter lux, and if you really look up how to do it, you could do one for several lux, which is what you should do, because that's the real usable throw. Okay, so although to be honest, this one throws so close to you that it's not really about its throw. Okay, so that's the USB port. As you can see, the USB port's in front of the threads, but behind the O-ring. Okay, and there's actually 2 O-rings. So this is IPX8. It runs 15 minutes at 200 lumens, and 5 hours on 7 lumens. So for 7 lumens, you get about 5 hours of runtime. I have not used this enough to verify either of those runtimes. All I know is I have not yet run completely out of power, even after powering it on 200 lumens for 5 minutes or so at a time. Okay, there's a nice 5 lumens, and then we got a nice, whoops. Now, the way the pressure switches work on this are interesting, because it will actually turn off if you're still holding it. You can actually kind of get it to angle off. It will turn off. It can be finicky. Okay, and that's one thing I've noticed. Noticing it right now, you can see if your hand's still moving it, the pressure switch is kind of sensitive and it flickers a little bit. But once you're not moving it, it's fine, which makes me think it might be a digital switch and not physical. Although the opposite's also true. It could be a physical switch, and it's finicky because you're putting pressure off of it. I guess it's because I'm pushing forwards as I turn it. So it's a little, I'm tightening it down, and it just turned off. So that could be the contacts aren't clean. Yeah, that could definitely be the contacts. So I might have just now wrecked the contacts because I have some greasy fingers. So I don't know if that's what happened. That's probably what happened. That's the most likely thing. So it's because I just touched it, didn't I? It also could be the grease that's in there, because the grease that's in there, because when I first got it was perfect. So yeah, it might have been touched. Let's just see this here. Yeah. Contacts are sensitive, and then if you look right there, you can see the pressure switch. Okay, so there's two switches there. The 200 lumens is a little bit more verifiable. I'm going to need to get some different equipment to clean that out, because that's way in there, and I'm not going to be able to get, well. Okay, so yeah, the contact was dirty, and getting it clean isn't possible. It's not clean all the way around. So as you're going around, it's breaking contact because it's not clean all the way around. So obviously, keep your flashlight clean all the way around. Okay, so there's this little tiny, and I think I haven't really noticed it until doing this video. So I'm glad I've noticed it. I doubt it's a software problem. I think it's just the contacts aren't perfectly clean. It came with a lot of grease on its threads, so that's probably the issue. Some of its grease probably got in there and it's covering the contacts. It's probably not dielectric grease. In any case, so this is a pretty stupid simple review, so I'm going to try to level down the commentary here. Alright, 200 lumens high, 7 lumen low. Okay, 5 hours or 15 minutes. Okay, and other than just now, I haven't had any problems with this flashlight, so it's probably just dirty contacts, water resistant IPX8. Now what that really means is when the flashlight is turned on, because this second O-ring makes contact when it's turned on. Right now there's this gap. Let's see if you can see this. See that gap? There's a gap there. Now that gap closes when it's on that 200 lumen mode. You still see that gap? No, you don't. This thing does hurt, by the way, when it's really close to you. It's a little bit too bright. 7 lumens, you still can't see the gap, but it's there. And when you turn it all the way off, okay, that gap comes back. So that second O-ring is there for protection, at least against dust. Maybe against water resistance, we don't know. I haven't run this through the wash yet. That's really the real test. You know, I don't recommend doing that. So, we'll just run over the rest of this real quick. So the optics is a Samsung LH35, either 1 or an I or an L, and then a D. So LH351D, I think. TIR optics. It's clear, but it's still a pretty floaty beam because of how tiny the optic is. It's just really, really tiny. Okay, it's a nice, well-centered LED, nice and clear. There is no ROSOP. You can't tail stand it, and the flat bezel means you can't headstand it either until that it's on. Okay, so it's a featureless flashlight. There's no, I call those features. That's what I'm going to call the rest of my flashlights. You know, moving on. The great square threads. The threads have a nice finish and detail. User interface is just twist, slight for low and more twist for high. It's a throttling UI. Okay, it is possible to signal with this light if you feather it into that 7 lumen mode. You can, like, if you put it right around there, you can signal by turning on and off the pressure switch. Okay. Going down, It uses flat regulation to my knowledge. The EDC, it's an EDC light or a keychain light really. So I have keychain, EDC, tactical, and search in terms of size, and this is a level 1. This is pretty much as small as you can get a flashlight. Anything smaller than this isn't going to put out enough lumens. In my opinion, 200 lumens is kind of the bare minimum to consider a flashlight as viable. Anything less than 200 isn't enough, in my opinion, in today's modern technology to be considered competitive or to be considered in your next flashlight purchase. Okay, now that we're done with all that, so the positives and negatives of the lighting itself, really just the positive is extremely small size and a very potent 200 lumens for its volume. Okay, for being not much bigger than one of these guys, I mean it is a small flashlight. Okay, it's smaller than my pinky. I got somewhat large hands, so that's why we use the pen and everything to kind of give you a good idea of how big it is. Ever so slightly, it's thicker than a pen, for example. We went over user interface. You should use this on a keychain. If you're not using it on a keychain, you're not making any sense. It doesn't really have any features, like it doesn't have the ability to not be used on a keychain. Turning it is a little hard. This lacks grip. Now this is important. This thing lacks grip. The negative to that is it can be hard, maybe with gloves on or whatever, to turn it. Now it turns so easily, I can't imagine that. But the positive to it lacking grip is it's not going to turn on in your pocket. I have not seen it turn on in my pocket. I've never pulled it out of my pocket with it turned on after more than a week of carrying it in my pocket. So that's a huge plus. So that's just my philosophy of use, just as a keychain light to get you in the house. You have that 200 lumen mode if somebody was behind you and you don't have time to pull off your good flashlight. You can turn this on to 200 lumens. It might buy you the time you need to pull out a real flashlight and really flash their eyes and pull out, maybe if you're armed, pull out your armament, whatever that might be, flash it in their eyes and use your cane on them. I don't know. Maybe you have a water bottle. Everybody has a water bottle. That's why I have this here. Everyone has a water bottle. And this, even when empty, okay, is very formidable to use against somebody who's, bad guy. Anyway, so you wouldn't use this in any other way. It could be a fifth pocket keychain light, but it wouldn't be an independent light source. Okay, I would never use it for that. You just have such a limited runtime on that 200 lumen mode. Okay, I haven't found out any secrets about this flashlight yet. It's pretty much out of the box. You get what you want. Okay, the tint is mediocre. There are 2 other versions which you could look into, which probably have better tints, but whatever. So yeah, for a lot of flashlights, like the K75, there's some secrets, and I'll go into those secrets about that light some other time, but nothing for this, There's not much competition. I say the Olight i3OS, the little tiny Olight, it's about this big. It's just a little bit longer, and it's just a little bit thicker. And the difference is it doesn't come all the way out. When you unscrew it all the way, it lets you, it's still attached to itself, which is probably why it's physically bigger. Okay, so the finish and takeaway is buy this if you want to stay absolutely minimum, as close to like the Streamlight Nano that I have in the unboxing as you can. Really close, really, really tiny. Just you want something as small as possible, then get this flashlight. Okay, this is a backup to your backup's backup flashlight. This is not I'm going to use this every day for my 200 lumen tasks for 15 minutes and then charge it and then turn it right back on again. No, this isn't for going in the woods, or, you know, this is for going into your car and then going out of your car and walking from your car to your house and going in your house. That's what this is for. Yeah, that's the extent of its use. You know, if you don't like carrying flashlights, but you want something on you that has some sort of something competitive, something compared to your phone. You know, it's comparable to most cell phones today, but, you know, much smaller, and it has its own battery, so you can drain its battery instead of your phone. It's going to be a lot more efficient than charging your phone for the battery use. Pull this out, look behind your couch, do whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so for that, that's the takeaway. That's who would get this. It's only $20, so US, in the US. I don't know how much it could be outside of the US, or if it's even available everywhere, but it is a very nice flashlight. It looks cool. It works well. 200 lumens impresses people, impresses me. So that's that. Have a good day, and I'll come up with a catchphrase later. Goodbye.